I'm Carl of Carl's Jr.
And I'm the Candy King from Wreck-It Ralph. Hey, have some candy! Wait, yeah. Have some candy!
As everybody knows, the path to hell is baked with good intentions.
And this is our final commentary for these seasons.
Woo! Oh boy.
And it's a doozy.
It's why this video is probably a bit longer than the other commentaries, because
Almost
this episode is longer than the other episodes.
You know, when Jack and I'm going to start this episode.
Okay.
Because we should do that. This is Season 2, Episode 14, Parts 1 through 4. Musical Scares.
The season finale of the season finale of Season 2.
And also my crowning achievement here on Earth.
Yes.
Up to this point. Let that sink in for a moment. I live such a sad life. Okay. So, when Jack and I sat down over the summer, and started doing the show, writing the show, I said we should do a musical episode. We're like, this is probably going to be maybe 20 minutes.
Right.
And then, we came back here to school in August, and we added a subplot and 3 songs. 4 songs, one of which I later cut, another of which I cut and then replaced with another song. I'll get to that later. And another 20 minutes, and it became a mediocre short film.
Woo! Wait, which one?
Never Again. Never Again became Happy Ending.
Oh, okay.
When writing Satan's prologue, I was thinking that I knew this episode was going to be long, and I wanted to excuse it so that people would watch the episode, but also I wanted Mary Rose to get her great moment to shine.
Yes.
Like
Classic Mary Rose. Classic. So good.
Really quick, the learning stuff animation took me a solid 45 minutes, and I am proud of
I
that.
still have no idea how you did that.
I also don't.
So, wait, the happy ending thing is a short film?
No, this is a mediocre short film.
Okay, I thought you meant like that song came out of the musical and then became a short film that we made.
No.
I was so confused. So I'm like, Jono, I have a categorical memory of every single thing we've ever shot.
True.
Edited or otherwise.
So another thing that occurred to me as I was writing this episode was crediting my major collaborator on this episode, the incomparable, brilliant, and talented Maggie Jo Snyder, who helped me write all of the music for this episode.
If you're watching, Adopt,
please. We love you so much. Because in this season I've done a lot of ripping off of Stephen Joshua Sondheim, America's greatest living American musical theater composer. That was redundant, but it's late. In almost every Sondheim musical, there is a weird, creepy figure who's just in the background, who shows up at some point and is important, and we decided that's who she should be, so we hid her in as many shots as we could.
Fun fact about my usefulness for this. None. See, I don't know anything. I know very little about musicals. I know the extent to which I know about musicals is that I can fool around with chords on a keyboard. So this was fun to actually just sit back and let you kind of take the reins and see how it turned out. Because we filmed this over the course of many weeks.
Yeah, fun fact. The time difference between this shot in Satan's office and the shot outside Satan's office was 3 weeks.
Because we knew, like, there'd be no way we could not do this in a day. Like, God, just thinking about that gives me a heart attack. But, so we ended up on weeks where we would film 2 episodes at a time. We would take the week after that or sometime within that time frame and get some of the musical episode done.
We originally wanted for this episode to revamp the title sequence, make it like old school Broadway, tying tails, canes, but there were two guys, they were pals, not terrible, everything else straight down the hall, that sort of thing. And then we realized that we're barely going to finish the episode on time as it is, so we scrapped that idea.
By the way, Jono edited this whole thing.
I edited this whole thing.
Kudos to you.
Over the course of several work shifts and the night before. So I extensively scripted this episode, except for this part, which was still thoroughly improvised. There was a period about 3 weeks before we filmed the episode in which I realized that a song I had written, that I mentioned earlier, Never Again, just didn't work. It didn't work for the narrative. It didn't work where it was placed in the episode. I was making too much work for myself in the way that I had structured everything. So I restructured the act, cut that song, and wrote a brand new one. And I realized when I did that I didn't have anything at the beginning of this scene anymore. So, hide and seek happened.
I love just like the vengeance of like, we have fan mail.
This episode was difficult to coordinate because we were planning on filming over the course of the semester, which didn't happen because this semester was one of the busiest of my life, and it's fine. So I made you keep that beard for way longer than I needed to. Realistically, I definitely could have cut the beard. When we were writing this episode, I was trying to flimsily rationalize why God would be back in hell. And I came up with something called the soul draft.
Yeah,
and I
you
sent
did.
that to you, and I believe your response was, "This is ludicrous, I love it." Which is how you know you've hit upon something good.
It was either to that or to the fact that you cut a song and then wrote a new song within a week.
I wrote a new song that day. This was the first song I wrote for this episode. I wanted it to have kind of a classic rock musical theater feeling. I sent it to Rachel, my girlfriend, who helped me kind of rationalize the music because she is a music major and I am an actor who sometimes sings things. And she looked at the music I wrote at one point. When Jono, did you mean to change keys here? I said, no. I wanted to hang out on La for a while. And she went, right. But you changed keys here. And I went, no. I wrote mi so la. And she's like, no. You changed keys. So that's when I started working with Miggy.
I feel like your statement about like as an actor sometimes makes music. I'm an actor who sings much less often, which explains my singing.
You sound wonderful.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
We filmed this entire song by ourselves because we just had the afternoon free.
Yeah. And the tripod. It's like,
right.
It brought us back. You know?
And it was
back in
fun,
the
and it was just a little dumb thing for us to do.
Yeah.
I remember the first time she and I looked at the song together, and we're sitting in a practice room in the School of Music, and she goes, all right, Jono, this is fun.
Yes, so Titanic.
This is fun, but here are some things that I would never subject anyone to. And I went, you're very smart. Please fix all my mistakes. And then she did, and now it sounds so good. This was fun to record too, because we ended up recording this together. We didn't record in separate tracks. And it was just a really nice...
Yeah.
It was as live theater as we could do this episode.
Yeah.
And that made me very happy.
That was, so by the end of that year, there was some stuff that like, I did alright, you know, but I wasn't really proud of anything I'd done, I guess. And being able to sing those was like one of my big, like, I'm proud of this.
There was a moment where I was putting together the Act 1 finale, and Rachel can attest to this. I was listening through your tracks, and I'm like, this is good. I don't need any of the other recordings we took. Copy, paste, let's hear how it sounds with everything else. Cool! And it made me really happy. You did such a great job.
Fun little backstory, when I auditioned for the School of Theater here at Western, I also accidentally, being the keyword, auditioned for the musical theater program, and had no idea, no clue, didn't even have a book of music with me, didn't know that that was a thing, I didn't know that existed. So I went in and did an acapella thing, immediate letter of rejection, and since then I had never sang again. Until this episode.
This was one of the less scripted moments of this episode. Most of the cooking tips I give in this are correct because I watch a lot of Food Network.
Thank God one of us does.
The script more or less says cooking show segment part 1, tenderizing the meat. Cooking show part 2, cow is loose in the apartment. And it became like a 6-minute cooking show segment.
We need to do more like that, where it's just like, this crazy thing happens. How do we make it happen? We don't know.
This was also definitely us making up for the fact that we did very little cooking show segments for a web series that's supposed to be about people doing a cooking show.
And also me breaking out my Tom Scott voice. Tom Scott, if you're watching, adopt me.
Jinx. We didn't have a solid way to end this segment, so I'm really glad you did that.
I like that our...
This one's my favorite.
I like that our way of getting out of situations is tossing a throwing knife and realizing it doesn't work.
Mary Rose, our Satan, is a proud vegan, and she is incredible, and she does so much good work and spreads the good word. Neither of us are, and we don't mean to offend any of our viewers who are, but gosh, that's a good joke.
It's so good.
I also call my sister Beans, so that was a shout out to her. Another 3 weeks were in between those 2 shots. The song this is leading up to is, I think, my favorite piece of music I have written. Jack and I, so this is in the day where we expanded the episode by 20 minutes on a subplot.
Oh yeah.
Jack and I, you had to go get groceries or something.
Or something, yeah. I was driving somewhere.
As you were leaving, you're like, wait a second, Satan and Pearl, food theme, fed up with you. And we had 2 simultaneous ideas as Jack was gone. I had an idea for a hate waltz. Jack had an idea for this really nice jazz
This
bite.
hate jazz.
And he called me and sent me a recording of it. And I was working out the hate waltz. And so we compromised and did a hate waltz. We used your pattern from the jazzy bit to lead into it. The way I described this song to Miggy was creepy in 3. Then it changes keys and turns into a princess waltz.
Yes.
And God bless her, she knew exactly what that meant the first time and gave me the perfect accompaniment for it. I don't know if you can tell by the everything about me and by a tight-knit friendship, but I am not a dancer. I do not identify as a dancer. I am a mover, I am a solid mover,
Yes,
and I do not identify as a dancer. So I knew when writing this episode that if there was going to be a dance break, it would not be in a song I was in. The singing voice of Pearl is provided by the incomparable, brilliant, and talented Miggy Jo Snyder, who learned this song the day we recorded it.
Yep.
She's a star.
Oh, we got very lucky.
Oh, yeah, we did.
So lucky. Of all the people, cast, crew, and otherwise on the show.
Actually. And obviously the singing voice of Mary Rose Howley is Mary Rose Howley, because she's amazing. Recording these songs was fun, because it was a good exercise in John O Should Never Write Music for Women, because I wrote in my key, and it's not their key. It's way too high.
It's really fun too, because our recording studio is in my bedroom.
Yep.
So we've got our shotgun mic on its PVC stand on my bookshelf, and a comforter behind it to muffle the sound. And I'm just sitting on my bed. There's like 2 chairs, and the person singing is between the bookshelf, and it's very cozy.
What you can't see in this shot, by some trick of fate, is me underneath that table, yelling, turn 2, 3, turn 2, 3, hit, 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 turn, hit. When recording this song, Miggy looked at the harmony line she'd written for Pearl, and she's like, I'm the worst. Why do I write like this? I'm like, are you kidding? It sounds incredible, and you're brilliant. This is the one I wrote the day I reordered the act, and cut the other Les Mis style Act 1 closing number, called Never Again, which was really good, but we agreed just didn't fit the feel. Never again will the food begin to shriek. Never again will unseen voices speak.
It's too triumphant.
Exactly. It
This
did
is
not
much more
fit
somber.
the satirical tone we had already taken. Already an eternity. That's Les Mis. That's One Day More. One long year, that's one short day in the Emerald City. Wicked. Let's just count how many musicals I rip off in this song. We'll get our happy ending. That's from Gallivant, which just rips off every Disney thing ever, but that was Gallivant ripping off Les Mis. This bit of interjecting in the middle of a verse is being stolen from Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. My original vision for this involved it being filmed outside, like walking underneath a column on a brick path, as like 40 people are behind us.
Right.
Turns out it rained that day and a lot of people couldn't make it.
Like freezing rain.
That's a lot of conflicts.
I hope the people who didn't make it know we're joking.
Oh, we love
We
it.
appreciate you all so much. Fun fact, literally every article of clothing they're wearing that is a blue doublet, a purple doublet, or the white shirts, I own all of those, and I use them. I use them to fight in.
Miggy wrote the harmony line she's singing here when we recorded it. Overlaying Mary Rose into this song was some of the most fun I've ever had as an editor.
I'm really
It's
glad that you
terrifying.
overlaid her right there, too, because I'm pretty sure I forgot my line there.
That was the cacophony part of One Day More. And you did so great.
Thank you.
As we are filming this, I turned to Jack at one point and I went, you know, there's a lot of pallets in Old Wood up there. Want to build a barricade? So we built a barricade.
Of course we did.
That last bit with the piano and the piccolo, that's just the motif from Phantom. It's also worth mentioning that the music playing under the prologue and the intermission, inspired by the dulcet tones of the Nintendo Wii, is called Satan's Me Time, that's spelled M-I-I, composed by the brilliant Miggy Jo Snyder, using a motif from Pearl's song that comes shortly after this.